This is Public Access Lost Transmissions, Part 6. We are down a latchkey, sadly, and we will be for a little bit. That's okay. We shall press forward. You all had a very eventful night. I think a day has passed, a day of just recovery and quiet contemplation. Um, Originally you all came here on something of a lark to investigate this urban legend about a TV station that you all remember, but no one else seems to remember. At least no one in the town that it's supposed to be at remembers. And it's turned into something more. It's turned into something much more dangerous. People have gotten killed. Your friend, Ash, has been missing all day. You don't know where he got up to. Amber and Zachary, you were attacked by a bunch of polyhedral dice falling from the sky, like hail. Zachary, I think you probably currently have a gauzy pad taped over your eye. You're not blind in that eye; you just sustained an injury. But um, this is all going maybe not great, or at least it's becoming a lot more serious than I think you maybe originally thought it was going to be. I would remind you all that you each have the ability, whenever you wish, to go back home, to forget about Deep Lake, to forget about TV Odyssey, and to narrate your character's safe, happy, yet no doubt unremarkable future. Or you can stay and get back to work. Let's talk about that work. Mysteries, 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 mysteries. Mysteries that may or may not have anything to do with TV Odyssey, the big mystery. The Deep Lake Lurker. You have determined that the Deep Lake Lurker is some form of Jessica Stosky, and you need to figure out how the lake chooses its victims so that you can perform a ritual to break the curse on the lake. You currently have 2 clues towards this. Zagreus, a video game with very strange properties connected, possibly connected, we don't even know for sure that it is, to the disappearance of a group of teenagers back in 1985. You've collected a lot of clues for Zagreus, and you have some questions. The first is this individual, Attafoy85, who is originally tormenting Taylor. We learn out of character, tormenting Ash. Also, your characters aren't aware of it, but Attafoy85 intended to burn down the arcade, going so far as to kill Ephraim Goldman as well, stating that the truth of Zagreus cannot come out. In any case, you have a question: who is Attafoy85? Why are they doing this? If you can answer it, you get to a chance to remove them as a danger in the mystery by unmasking them and then convincing them to let the situation go, or otherwise neutralizing the threat they pose. That has nothing to do with the bigger mystery of Zagreus, though, which starts with accessing Zagreus's secret levels. That's another question, a fairly simple one, actually, that allows you to unlock a new move, press start, which will probably lead to more interesting things. But you have a load of clues on this. And Greetings Travelers, you have quite a few clues as well. This is a really interesting one where we have, again, another case of missing kids. Back in the 80s, this secret game, Serpents and Sepulchres, was organized, and people in the know followed the directions on these flyers to find out where the game was going to be held on any given night. A kid, Bastion Dare, went missing, and that caused the SNS fun to end. But it seems this group calling themselves the Blackleaf Circle is back. The flyers are going up again, and you need to figure out where these flyers are luring kids, these new ones. Or where is the Blackleaf Circle? The bigger mystery connected to TV Odyssey, the collecting of the Odyssey tapes. You currently have collected and watched 4 Odyssey tapes. I don't believe you have any other Odyssey tapes. I think you've watched all the ones you've found at this point. Taking a look at the Latchkeys themselves. Each of you has picked up a brand new condition called I Dream of Deep Lake. Last time you narrated your dream. This is a dream that your characters will keep revisiting. We won't always roleplay it, but your characters will keep having this dream until you clear the condition. And you can only clear the condition in real life by going into the waters and making the sacrifice in real life that you made in your dream. Taylor has a further complicated condition, which is next victim. That's only going to get cleared when either Zachary or Amber go into the water, or you figure out what's going on with the Deep Lake Lurker and take care of it. You were also exasperated with lots of good reason last time. Taylor really went through it. That long night phase saw Taylor encountering Harvey Stosky convincing or trying to convince you that his wife was going to commit violent acts. Indeed, a violent act was committed. A poor, nameless pizza boy was killed. And we learned that maybe Mary wasn't behind it because she answered the phone in her time zone, very much asleep and very much confused about a phone call she received from Taylor and Harvey Stosky. Well, maybe Harvey Stosky is just trying to deflect from his own bad actions. So Harvey Stosky is possibly back in the bad guy driver's seat. In any case, this is a really, really dangerous mystery. The quicker you all get rid of it and dispatch it, the better. Zachary is still plagued by my pantry girlfriend. The house in Escondido Street. You know what happened to the Rappaport family, but you've left the house there, just doing its thing. And also, because of Zachary's victimization by these strange hail of dice, has received a condition called Natural One, which is really a fun play on words, depending on how you perceive it, and can mean lots of different things. You know, maybe he's rolled a natural one, or he is just a natural number one guy. I don't know. In any case, Amber, I've got my eye on you. So, at this point, you don't know what happened to Ash, but you did receive an anonymous email containing pictures of some of the things Ash found. The shoebox with the heart, evidence of tunnels beneath the Me and Myself storage, also evidence that he was at Me and Myself storage. So your clues are still good, even though Ash was not able to come back to tell you about them. Who sent you this message? Who knows? There are several possibilities. Possibly Tim Crayley, the person that we know out of character killed Ash and added him to a grisly tableau in one of the storage units. Possibly Adafoy.
Or maybe Ash himself.
Maybe Ash himself. A very good point. I will say that Galaxia Arcade is still standing. It did not get burned down. Adafoy might be all talk. Who knows? We have a day phase. If you haven't done so already, you can swap out your Dawn questions as you wish. If you still need to pick an advancement, Taylor, looks like you need to pick an advancement still because you filled up. Now is the time to do it.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
And let me see if we have any beginning of session moves we have to do. Well, we used to. We don't anymore. after a day of probably just being in shock, to be honest. It's now morning time. If you want to trigger nostalgic moves, start thinking about how your takes you back might be used in a scene. And there's the matter of continuing the investigations as well. I'm going to start with Zachary. Zachary, what do you want to do today?
Definitely a vulnerable move. Makes sense.
Nostalgic move, we
but-
call it. But yep.
Nostalgic move, I'm sorry. Yeah. But I think given Zachary's family connection to the whole the Blackleaf Society thing, I think he's going to want to follow up on that.
Yeah, because your sister was a friend of Bastian Dare, right?
Brother.
Or your brother, right?
Older
Yeah.
brother was and evidently played with some of those folks.
Yeah,
back in
absolutely.
the day. So I think I'm wondering if there's any way for him to try and track down some of the Blackleaf Society, get in touch with what was her name? Mouse Mother or something?
Oh yeah.
Brandy Mouse Mother.
Yeah, I can give you some leads.
Mm.
Things that you know about. You know, it kind of was only touched on lightly last time, but that pushcart food drink vendor at the high school, he's actually in a position to see a lot of what goes on at the school, right? I think that's one thing worth pointing out. We've talked to Missy Von Donut, who has kind of maybe a little thing going with Amber. It's a little unclear. There was something going on there. And she used to play SNS. We also have the matter of the current missing kid, the one that brought this to your attention. What was her name? It's Amelia Calvillo.
Amelia Calvillo.
Yeah. So maybe like looking into her, going to her place, whatever. There's all kinds of, those are some options.
Yeah.
Maybe just asking around about serpents and sepulchres, you know? Go to an after school club. Zachary, go hang out with some nerds. That could be fun.
Yeah, I think going to see Missy might make sense if Amber had talked to me about encountering her.
Yeah, that's a possibility. She was over at the Tobacco Plus outlet, if I recall correctly. There's also maybe looking for other places where you have found the flyer too, because the flyer is posted in a lot of different places as well. So those are some different angles you could probably take.
Yep.
Be thinking about your nostalgic move scene though, and if and how you want to frame it up. Amber, what do you want to do today?
I mean, with Ash missing and having received an email, that's something she's definitely interested in. So maybe
what happened to your new friend?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's a fair thing to ask. Yeah. Well, you have a lead. You know that Ash was at the Me and My Self storage. So
I think that's where she's going to head. And I mean, definitely nothing bad's gonna happen there.
definitely not. Taylor?
Yeah, I'm actually interested in everything, but I want to get rid of that stupid deep lake lurker once and for all. I've had it.
Well,
And this time play some Zagreus.
I think playing some Zagreus would be a great thing to do. Let's figure out what these nostalgic moves are going to look like if anyone's doing one. Zachary, you'd kind of talked about one to do one. What do you think?
Yeah, I was wondering if we could do something like near the school, like in the morning, getting something from that food cart, maybe getting like coffee there.
I like that. Who wants to go get coffee with?
I'd actually like a move with Amber because I don't.
Oh, we lost you right there. I think you hit mute
Oh.
a little too early, Taylor.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I was saying that I would actually like to have a scene with Amber because I don't think we've had one.
No, you really haven't. No, not too much. I mean, do either of you want to try to get a nostalgic move going? I mean, do we think? Yeah, there's a.
And I can only clear one condition, so I can't have one with Zachary and.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be in both scenes. Definitely interested into having an interaction with Taylor. If I end up with Zachary, we should talk about whether we want to continue making it awkward or maybe if something has changed by now. But I'm basically open, so both of you can just set up a scene.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that because I was fumbling with my microphone controls. I'm so sorry.
You sound much
no
louder.
worries.
You sound much better now, though, for what it's worth. So.
Okay.
Okay.
That was worth it.
Yeah, you were like
just
really
said,
quiet before. Yeah.
We can have a scene, you and I, Natasha. Just frame it if you've got an idea.
Yeah, let's do it in the kitchen at home. I think that's always a good idea. And I would like you to be there first
Mhm.
and kind of walk in on whatever you're doing. Which
Probably
is
doing the dishes or something
oh,
mundane.
in the morning. Wow,
Yeah.
someone's motivated.
They should have gotten done the night before, but
Yeah.
Somebody left them. Imagine who.
Yeah. Well, let's assume that we've caught up the night before, so I don't have to repeat all that. Okay. So I walk in and slump down on a chair where there's a flyer advertising pizza delivery, and I'm like, oh, never again.
Wait.
Am I having pizza?
Oh. And then she realizes, yeah. Is there like other delivery services here around? I'm not sure if we can completely avoid pizza though.
I am not sure, but this was, I mean, I've seen all kinds of disgusting stuff at university because, you know, taking apart all kinds of animals and whatnot. But this blood splattered pizza really takes the cake. No pun intended. Have you ever seen a dead body before?
You know, I actually haven't. I try to avoid seeing dead relatives.
So your car didn't have any leftovers in it when you bought it?
Boy, that would have been cool though. I do have body bags in case we need some. They were still in the car.
Okay, that's kind of weird. Just in case, you know, I could have used you last night. Could have used the body bag, but no, this was actually the first violent death I've ever seen. The first sliced throat. I've seen my fair share of accidents, but nothing like that.
I mean, who would do something like that, and especially to such a random delivery driver?
Well, Harvey Stowski, obviously. That man is nuts.
Yeah, he's so creepy. My uncle talked to him the other day, and he advised me to stay away from him. I mean, do you think
Yeah, I mean,
you can handle it with him around?
yes, of course I can handle it. I just don't want to see any more dead pizza boys.
No, I get it.
I mean, kind of, yeah, reminded me of when I saw a guy fall down the stairs. There was at the mall. There was almost as much blood, but not quite as much. But I think he was he was also carrying pizza, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just making that up. You know, memories are very unreliable. So he probably didn't carry pizza. And now whenever I think of pizza, I think of death. It's pretty disgusting.
That's a bummer.
I think I'll only eat sweet stuff for a couple of days, if that's fine with you, Amber.
I mean, I can provide.
That
Shouldn't be a
would be
problem
good.
though.
Just don't make it look like pizza.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you haven't ever seen a dead person. No relatives, no funerals. I thought
Well,
everyone had at least one death in the family.
yeah, but you don't have to be present while the casket is open, you know. Sometimes you can avoid it.
Yeah, I guess.
Boy, I'm
Taylor, are you?
so-
Oh, sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry.
Yeah.
Please
I
continue.
was just going to say I'm so angry that Ash is neglecting his duties. Now I have to clean up.
So what did you want to say, Jesse?
I was just going to ask if you feel sufficiently less exasperated with the situation, talking it out with Amber.
Not quite.
We can keep the scene going a little bit, Amber, because you are the only one you can clear. As I've got my eye on you, so
Yeah, I mean that's about Harvey. So I think what she's going to say after a rant about Ash not being responsible and being wherever, you know what? I'm just going to avoid all this Deep Lake stuff about
No,
the camp.
Amber.
And
I
come
was kind
on,
of working up to asking you if you could come with me when I go back there. I was like, didn't you see I was playing the poor me card? No? Didn't you get that?
well, yeah,
Come on.
but I
I mean, you
definitely,
already got the body bags. What can go wrong?
yeah, I
Come
can
on.
give you some, but I'm not going there. You know, I try to avoid anything Harvey Stosky related, and maybe I just try to find where Ash is because
But can't you see I'm exasperated, Amber? God damn it, Amber.
yeah, I'll pack you some cookies and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that will help. Thanks so much.
we'll come back to the scene in a moment. But Amber, you do need to be thinking about the clue that you're going to
Mm.
stumble on, maybe in the messages that you received from your mysterious emailer, maybe something else.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll come back to this moment in a bit. Zachary, you had asked in chat if it's possible for you all to do nostalgic move together? And technically, no, but if you're okay with only stumbling on one clue in this nostalgic move, I'm okay with that if you want to interject yourself into the scene here and try to get a condition cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think Zachary will kind of stumble downstairs with a gauze-covered eye and walking into the kitchen, having like overheard the tail end of the conversation, say something like, "So Amber, you never seen a dead body? Is that why you kind of dress up like one?"
Oh, you're in a good mood today,
Why is he
aren't
such a
you?
dick?
I love it.
Wow,
Out of character.
Zachary,
Yeah.
how sweet.
Yeah, I just got blinded in one eye by some nerd throwing dice at us. I'm allowed to not be in the best of moods, I think. Is there any coffee?
Yeah,
Nope, I
here.
think. Oh, thank you. I'll take one too. I thought you'd just wash the coffee dishes as well. I was about to be annoyed, but thanks. So, Zachary, how's your appetite? And are you in the mood for a swim? I don't know. You look kind of washed up.
Yeah, thanks. Swimming, really?
Nah, just, I was kind of asking Amber to go with me to Sheep Lake, but she's too afraid. So, are you too afraid? Is the question.
Afraid? What what was it that happened to that guy there? After the sheriff dragged me out there, somebody got turned inside out. Is that what you expect me to be afraid of?
No, I don't expect you to be afraid of anything. So, you coming?
Well, I was going to try and chase down one of my brother's old friends, but sure, I'll join you at the camp.
Ding dong.
Thank you.
Ding
Thank you.
dong.
You gonna
Oh
get that,
God.
Amber?
Oh no, it's
Wait,
gonna be
I'm supposed to
Claire, I
get
bet.
it? I'm
If
doing
you're
the
not going
dishes,
to the
I'm
lake, so
cooking,
you
I'm
walk
doing everything here. And now she's
it's the least you can do if you're not coming to the lake.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
and
I
she's
swear,
about to
this is
swear, and then
Claire.
she goes to at the door to look.
Amber, you see someone who I guess you'd recognize. You can't miss uh, a person, young man, wearing a lucha libre mask, standing at the door.
Hi,
He says,
champ.
"Hello, I don't have a lot of time. Where's Watson?"
In the kitchen. You want some coffee as well?
All right. He looks to the left, looks to the right, like he's being followed. And then he goes inside really quickly. He shuts the door really fast. He says, "We can't be too careful. The enemy has eyes all around." Zachary, you'll overhear your old friend, the People's Champ, from the front hall.
Yeah, I think Zachary will call out, Who is it, Amber? Did Ash forget his key? And then hearing the voice, he'll just turn to Taylor and say, "Oh, this fucking guy."
Hide behind me, quick!
The People's Champ comes into the kitchen. He says, "Fair morning to you both, citizens.
Oh yeah, hi.
I come with very interesting news for you." And he sits down and he says, "I've learned something, a bit of intel that you might be interested in."
Oh yeah, is it who
Yeah,
it was
go
that
ahead.
almost took my eye out last night?
He sees that. To be fair, it was 2 nights ago, but he sees that and he says, "Do you want me to give you something for that?"
Oh, you're a paramedic now?
"I've done some basic courses. I have a certificate. Thank you very much."
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I think I'll stick with
Mickey
it.
Mouse Club certificate. Oh,
He says, "Okay, I
getting the
can see no one here wants to hear my very, very important intel."
just spit it out.
Well, I've learned something. I've learned about the location of one of the secret Serpents and Sepulchres games. It's already over, but maybe there's a clue left behind.
Is this that missile silo that somebody was talking about?
Yes, it's in the missile silo. How did you already
Oh,
have this
Jesus,
intel?
please.
I can't reveal my sources, People's Champ. I'm sure you can understand.
Well, do you know where the missile silo is? Because I happen to.
That I do not.
Very well. I have a mission for you. I need you to go to this abandoned missile silo and find out what's going on there. I think that whatever was happening there is a threat to the community and is therefore of interest to us.
Us. That's why
Yes.
you want him to go.
I
And
would
not
go
you.
myself, of course, but I have very important crime fighting business to attend to today.
I'm sure.
And he kind of stands out in the crowd.
What do you mean by that?
The mask, dude, it's kind of not an everyday look.
But if I took off the mask, people would know my real identity.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. There's a perfectly good explanation.
You're not very good at crime fighting, are you? This is crime fighting 101 stuff.
But
Well,
when you need someone subtle, you have to come to me.
you know what you should do, People's Champ? You should go check out the Deep Lake camp.
Pine Rock Ridge?
Pine Rock Ridge, yeah, that's it. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on there, like dead pizza delivery guys and drowned children and camp owners that die spontaneously. It's super weird.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've got my eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've overheard
Yeah.
chatter
yes, of
on the
course. I'm sure
police
you knew this
radio.
already. Yeah.
And I tell you
So
what,
much to do, right?
I happen to think that there's a lot more going on in this town than people are letting on.
No, really. You think so?
I do. I really do.
And who would know better, right? So
He has a
I heard
point.
you were very busy. I shove him gently towards the door.
He will give you the latitude and longitude coordinates of the missile silo for anybody who wants to
Thank you.
follow up. And he gets up and says, "Very well, team. Keep doing a good job. Keep up the good work. I'm proud of you. Then he turns
Gee,
and
thank you. Haven't heard that
leaves.
in a while. Bye. This
Well,
guy
I
wasted
was
10
all set
minutes
to
of
come
my
to the,
life I'm never getting back.
Well,
Yeah.
he's less annoying than the both of you, to be honest. And then she's just leaving the
Wow,
kitchen.
thank you, Amber. Thank you. You just keep doing what you do best, and here's
Yeah,
some
she
dishes
left
for you.
already.
I give her my empty coffee cup.
well, I was going to come to the camp with you, but I feel like I got to follow up on this business. If my,
Of
you know,
course, I mean, what the People's Champ says is more important
It's not a-
than what I say anyway. So you go ahead.
it's not about
And
that
from
tool.
the other
It's,
room, from the living room, Amber's shouting, "I'm not going to drive you."
you know, my brother used to be into all this stuff. And
What kind of stuff?
these games, these dorky
Oh,
role-playing games. And you know, I kind of owe him. He was a dog, but he was a pretty good older brother. So sometimes.
Did he die? I'm sorry if
No,
I'm
no.
asking so bluntly, but
Well, at least I don't think so.
okay. But you're no
It's
longer in touch.
it's been a few months.
Mm. Yeah, it happens with families.
Yeah, you know, he was the kid who kind of always, he was the one in my family who kind of got me, even if I don't think I really get him. He would always buy me something cool for my birthday, a good book, or yeah, I don't know how he
What
figured.
happened?
Well,
What happened?
you know, he was a few years older than me. He left town as anyone sensible would, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't keep in touch, right?
Sure. But, you know, when he left, we didn't have the internet like we do now. It was a whole lot more difficult to keep in touch with folks.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Since I don't really have anyone to keep in touch with, I wouldn't know.
No family.
No, not anymore.
So you're like an orphan.
No. No, my dad died when I was already grown up, so yeah, no. Not an orphan. I mean, are grown-ups orphans? Do you call them that? Or is it just kids? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's a kid thing.
But still, it's fine. It's not like we had much to talk about anyway when he was alive, so
Oh yeah, one of those dads, huh?
yeah, he tried, but he kind of was never there. You know, work stuff, providing, blah blah.
What did he do?
What did he was he was an electrician. Always something to fix. Yeah, I think maybe that's actually what got him in the end. Too many zaps.
No way, he
Who
got
knows what that does
electrocuted.
to your heart, right? No, no, he didn't. He had a heart attack, but you know, maybe he got zapped too many times, and that kind of led to that in the end. I mean, we did experiment on rats at university with electrocution stuff, so their heart rates changed. So I guess that's what happened to him too.
You were like Frankensteining rats at college?
No, I studied zoology, and there's all kinds of shit you have to do to get your master's, and get
Taking
extra
rats apart and
credit,
putting
so
them
you
back
work in the
together.
lab. Yeah, that was actually a kind of fun though. The electrocuting, not so much.
Well, I'm glad to hear that wasn't the fun part.
No, not really. So you're not coming to the lake then?
Next time, Taylor, next time.
All right.
Let's check in on a nostalgic move. So I think, Taylor, you've probably cleared exasperated by this point.
Yeah, I think I've calmed down.
Yeah. And Zachary, do you want to make a case for one of your conditions?
Hmm. I don't know, like natural one feels like the one I could maybe make a case for in that he's just kind of dealing with this injury.
Yeah,
And
I'm into that. Yeah, like just the fact that you've kind of like you're sort of like dealing with the actual physical injury that was associated with this condition. In addition to the fact that I think in this general matter, you know, you're taking a lot of ownership over the situation, you know, which I think is important. Like this whole situation with Bastion Dare and your you know and your brother and all this other stuff. So, and I could see how that would not be weighing on you in a negative way anymore.
Mhm.
Amber, what about you?
I'd say I've got my eye on you because I'm staying away from everything Harvey
Yeah.
related.
Yo, yeah, very good. You're actually like kind of, yeah, I'm into that. And then either Zachary or Amber can stumble on the clue. I don't care who, but one of you, if you want to come up with a clue together, you can certainly do that.
I mean, I don't know. I'd like a clue for the stupid lurker, but it doesn't mean
Yeah,
it has to be
so
me,
I
right?
was thinking there's also a local newspaper and there's an ad for midnight boat trips
Mm,
on the lake.
intriguing. What about this stuck out though that would make it a clue?
I mean, they're only going out at night.
Oh, just the mere fact that it's just like a weird midnight boat trip. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. I'm into it. Yeah, I think that is. How can we make it like stranger?
Maybe the way you participate or how you apply.
Maybe there's.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Maybe there's like special glowing eels that only come out at night or something.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's a midnight boat trip to go look at this weird like glowing eel phenomenon. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that kind of ties it to the situation a little bit more closely. Fantastic. So, Amber, you were going to go to me and my self storage. Getting into the interior of the building is no trouble. Because people go in all the time. You have to have a key to the individual units anyway. So, but nobody will stop you from just wandering around the corridors. There's also the front office area. What's your approach here? What do you do?
So basically, someone sent us pictures of the clues Ash found here. And we
Yeah.
haven't heard of Ash.
You have not heard from
Sad.
Ash, no.
I'm probably not going to talk to anyone working there, but rather look around if I see anything that belongs to Ash. Or we've had like a picture of the tunnels as well, so maybe I'll try to find an entrance.
I think as you're roaming around the corridor, you hear from behind one of the shutter doors of one of the storage units, someone's playing music from the other side, from inside the storage unit. They're playing a Johnny Cash song, The Legendary Man in Black. What do you do, woman in black?
I mean, after the song has finished, I'm going to knock and see who's inside.
You knock, and the voice from the other side that responds says, "It's open. Come on in."
And she does recognize that voice and goes in.
You can raise the door if you wish.
Yeah, I do.
Go inside. It's interesting. This storage facility has been decorated, this little storage unit has been decorated like a comfortable, if somewhat out of date, vintage, we'll say, kind of sitting room. There's lamps, chairs, that kind of thing. Paint the scene, everyone. What cozy details have been added to make this storage unit into a little comfy spot?
Oh, there's like a lazy boy reclining chair with like a garishly patterned fabric on it. That's right in the center of the space.
There are strings of is it called fairy lights in English? Like tiny lights and with paper mache stars and moons around the LED bulb.
There's a radiator making it comfortably warm inside because I don't expect there to be any heating.
The big man is there. He has a tray of drinks, cocktails. He comes over to you, and the storage unit is not very big to begin with, but it looks even smaller with him in the middle of it. He has a record player playing his albums. He looks like he's starting to come apart at the seams a little bit. His skin looks like it's sagging. His eyes are pale with cataracts. He even seems a little thinner than you remember. Natasha, in what other way does it seem like the big man is falling apart?
His is he wearing a hat? Was he wearing a hat? I can't remember.
He does in general, but I think he's not right now at this moment.
You can see that his hair is falling off in patches, and there's like patches of baldness on his head. And if you look close enough, you think that even his eyebrows are thinning out, and there are patches where his beard would be.
Amber, he says, "Can I tempt you with a drink?"
Yeah. What do you have?
"Oh, we're having ranch water today. That's the only thing you should drink on a hot summer day." Also, it is very hot. I mean, it is the summer in New Mexico. He's got the
Is that
radiator
something
on.
American?
Do what? Ranch
Is that
water?
something American, ranch water? Or
Ranch
is
water
it-
is it's Topo Chico with tequila and orange juice. Yeah,
Sounds good.
it's refreshing. Or I think that's right. There's different ways to make it. That's how I make mine. So.
Mm.
And I'm having a Topo Chico right now, so I've got it on my mind.
Perfect. Yeah,
It's so
obviously
hot. It's hot
she's
outside. It's hot in the facility. He's got the radiator on. It's like sweltering right now. Your pancake makeup is probably running a little bit, right? Mm.
Right. Oh yeah, that makes the radiator detail even more interesting. Yeah, obviously she's going to have one.
He says, "So, how are things going with you and your friends?"
Could be better, because for some reason they think I'm the mate.
"Well, I would not concern myself with trivialities and personality clashes. There are far more important things in play." You have to stay focused.
On what exactly?
He seems to ignore your question and sits down on this lazy boy, which you can see it buckle a little bit as he sits down in it. He says, "Where would you like me to start? At the beginning?"
I mean, you could start by telling me why you show up in pictures that were taken decades ago.
Decades ago, might as well have been yesterday. You need to start thinking in terms of eons, not just decades. Try 690,000 BP. The great render of flesh, pleased with the wanderers for making copious sacrifices of blood and bone before his impossible altar, gifted them with a titanic pillar made of screaming skin, infused with ancient magics, a weapon they will then use to destroy the fire cults once and for all. Or perhaps a little more recent, 28,000 BCE, when the first pact is made between the Flame Keepers and the Sky Stone Dwellers, activating places of power in the desert wastes that will keep the Bone Wolves and the other great hungers at bay, so that no harm will come to the children and that the people would sleep at night again, dreaming the dream of their bright future under the watchful stars. Or you can wonder about why I was seen in some photographs a couple of decades old. I hope I have impressed upon you the scope of the problem.
I think so.
Yeah.
You have to understand it's a bit difficult to wrap my head around all of it, but I do understand that it's something much bigger going on here.
I don't have a lot of time left. And so I have to speak with some sense of urgency. The deep desert is calling to me. The ancient places are being trod upon once more. The old things, the old hungers in the earth are shaken off their slumber, and I must go to them, for this is my duty. But you should know that as they shake off their slumber, people who are susceptible to such vibrations are being agitated. You have 3 such people in town at this very moment. Your friend Ash has fallen to one of them. Your friend Taylor is presently being tormented by one of them. And maybe there are more killers, more little wolves stalking the streets. It's become very, very dangerous here in the desert. He tips his glass to you. I would not blame you for going back home.
I don't plan to go back home, but what do you mean by fallen? Taylor just didn't show up for a bit, but did something happen?
I shall present you with a choice. I want to be as helpful as I can be, but my personal sense of the dramatic requires me to make you choose. He holds out in his large hands, in one, a key to one of the storage units, in the other, an Odyssey tape. Let's take a 5-minute break. Zachary, you're going to follow these latitude and longitude coordinates?
I think so, yeah. Got to figure out how I'm going to get there since
Yeah, how are you
Conroe's
gonna get there?
refusing to drive me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'll get is it like a bus maybe that goes out into the desert and they might let me out?
The coordinates don't even seem like they're near a road.
Hmm.
They're just out in the middle of the scrub, out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Well, I guess I'll pack some water and
Hitchhike?
hitchhike. Yeah.
Zachary experiencing all kinds of things this summer, probably for the first time, I suspect. How very interesting. Let me check in with Taylor. Taylor, you said you were going to try to finally put a
Stop
put
to the lurker.
it into the Deep Lake Lurker. Probably need a couple
Yeah.
more clues. What are you going to do?
I was wondering, can you buy a taser in a convenience store in the US?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Because you never know, right? In the US, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it depends on the state for sure.
probably
but,
depends on the state. I bet you could buy. We'll say. I mean, how about pepper spray? I think pepper spray is
Pepper
probably more
spray,
likely.
Yeah, no, that's not what I want. How about those things you use, a cattle prod?
Not in a convenience store. I think a taser's
Okay.
more likely. I think like a small like purse taser is more likely. Yeah, you
I
can
want
have the
something with
taser.
electricity.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm into it. Taser
finding a
sounds
place
good.
that sold those would probably not be that hard.
No, I
I
think
don't
I
think
think
it'd be a
getting
convenience
a
store.
little keychain taser at the convenience store seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, that's why I would like to finally use my move. Strange things are afoot at the
At the
Circle
Circle
K.
K. I know. Add it to your corner of the house. Done.
Yeah,
Then what?
and then tase the hell out of that lake.
Very good. So you're going to the lake. I like that.
Yeah, I
I will
don't
tell
think
you at
it's
this point
fine.
that Pine Rock Ridge is cleared out because of the murder that happened. Well, the
Yeah,
death of
no
Billy
shit.
James was not helping, but then there's this murder. They spent yesterday basically getting all the kids out of there. There might still be a couple of
Makes
camp
sense.
counselors around cleaning up, but it's otherwise pretty emptied out. Going
But
to
at
the
least
edge
I
of the
can
lake is no
finally,
trouble. Yeah.
yeah, at least I can finally snoop around with anyone
Mhm.
getting on my nerves.
True. So you go to the lake and you're going to plunge the taser into the lake. What are you hoping to accomplish?
Kill everything that's in the lake.
Interesting. I don't know if a taser is
Now,
going to
I
give you
mean,
enough power to do
it's
that.
not what I wanted to do like right this second, but I want to have it as an option
Okay.
to kill something that's connected with water, you know, and electric currents and water and stuff, you know, just something to keep in mind. I feel safer with a taser.
I think that's a fair thing to feel. So what do you do?
Oh. Well, I want to check out the place where the boat tour starts from. Is there a shed or something? Probably.
There is. There's a boathouse, in fact.
Mhm.
The boathouse, I think when you go to the boathouse, you find, have we met Joey Keene, the lifeguard, yet? I can't remember.
Yes, I think so. Wasn't he the guy who took me out?
That's right. It's him. Yeah. I think he's there just packing up for the summer, you know, and he's talking to some like older guy who's there, who you don't recognize. And they're there at the boathouse. What do you do?
Yeah, I greet them like, "Hey, it's you again."
Joey says, "Oh, hey, did you come by just to
Found
say
any more
goodbye?"
weird rock? Something like that. Did you find any more weird rocks or whatever?
No, I just, I don't know. I guess, sorry, I'm not in a great mood today. Everyone's just kind of bummed out about how things have gone the last few days.
Of course.
But I can hardly complain. At least I'm alive.
Yeah. So, did you also do the boat tour?
Oh no, no. And then he
Ah, okay.
actually he points to this older guy. He's
Hmm.
like, "Oh yeah, that's me. Did you want to reserve a spot on tonight's tour?"
Are the tours still going on?
Well, it's a public lake, and I got a boat.
Are they? Do people actually book that kind of stuff?
Well, truth be told, I haven't had too many customers, so I'll give you a discount if you want to come out tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not sure yet. I was wondering maybe you could just tell me about the kind of people that usually go on these tours. Are they like tourists or strange people or biologists? I'm a biologist, by the way.
Oh, a biologist.
That's why I'm interested in, of course.
Oh.
Yeah. Eves and such, you know.
Make the meddling move with presence.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, still 8.
He says, over the years, we've had people come by interested in some of the strange happenings going on at the lake, bioluminescent organisms in the water. And from time to time, I've taken some folks out there and they've looked into it.
Like what kind of folks look into that stuff if they're not writing a thesis on bioluminescent algae like me?
He says, well, mostly we just get the kind of people who are interested in, well, you know, the deep lake lurker, or people who are interested in, you know, there's always some new story or legend or monster that somebody wants to know something about. I consider myself a man of science personally, but
Very good, very good. Me too.
Science is not exactly what brings people out. It's the stories. And so I keep up with this sort of glowing eel thing. Truth be told, nobody really knows what's down there at the bottom of the lake.
Has no one ever been down there? Divers, I mean, with kids disappearing and whatnot?
And then he and both Joey Keane both laugh. They're like, no one has ever taken those disappearances seriously.
Well,
Certainly no one thinks that something in the lake grabbed those kids. Kids go missing on the trails. Kids drown. I'm sure they tried to dredge for bodies back in the day, but nobody would think to go looking for strange glowing matter.
Well, okay, not even biologists, or for practice, like diving practice? I don't know. I mean, we saw those weird stones, didn't we?
And
remember the stones?
Joey went. Yeah, Joey was. Yeah, he was like. I think Joey's gotten really nervous at this point. I don't think he's like kind of nervous about this conversation. And he says, "Well, look, I gotta go. I'll leave you two at it. It was good to see you again.
Okay, lunch sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be
give me your
super
number.
great. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, sure. And he'll text you his number. All that kind of stuff is going on. And meanwhile,
In case, you never know.
yeah, meanwhile, the old man, he says, "How about I take you on a tour of the lake and show you some things that no one's ever seen before?"
Like what?
And he points at his boat, which is sitting just inside the boathouse. He says, "Come with me."
Can I bring my friends?
He says, "I don't see any friends."
Yeah, they're just in the parking lot, but fine. Let's go. I'll just text them. I'll be
Right.
on the boat with you.
As you go into the boathouse,
On the boat with weird guy.
oh yeah,
Just stand by, please, Zachary and Amber. If
You
you don't
see-
hear from me in the next 2 hours, come to the lake.
inside the boathouse there are kayaks and canoes stacked in neat rows. There's a fresh coat of paint over the rust, and paddles and life jackets are strewn about. What here indicates that the lax boathouse policies haven't really changed since you attended camp? Everybody can answer this.
I think there's wet clothes and swimming trunks and bikinis and whatnot all over the place. Like kids and grown-ups alike, when they got dressed, they just dropped the wet clothes wherever they were standing, and here they lie to this day.
And I think, yeah, some of the boats are like not properly secured back in place because they've just been, taken out willy-nilly by campers, unsupervised, and just kind of roughly put back in place when they get back. Not
think there's definitely some equipment missing. Maybe what's it called again when someone is drowning and you throw in that ring?
Oh,
A
the life ring.
lifesaver.
Yeah. So there should be one, but there isn't.
The old man says, I didn't catch your name.
Taylor. And yours?
What a coincidence. My name is also Taylor.
Oh, that's interesting. Taylor and Taylor what? Maybe our last names are also the same.
What's your last name?
Well, tell me yours first.
He gets in the boat.
Okay. I climb after him into the boat.
He starts the motor and you go out of the little boathouse and you're on the water. And he stops at a wooden post sticking out of the water. It sticks out of the water maybe like a foot. You wouldn't really be able to see it unless you knew where to look. On top of the wooden post, a weird symbol has been burned into the wood.
Mm-hmm.
He says, what do you reckon that means?
What does it look like?
I don't know. Maybe it's something that the aliens use to navigate their extraterrestrial crafts.
Or some kid had a pocket knife and was bored.
Maybe. And he starts the boat again and takes you to another part of the lake where there's another post sticking out of the water and another symbol, a different symbol.
Mm-hmm. How far out are we?
At this point, you're pretty far away from the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And
How long have they been there, the symbols?
he says, I couldn't say. But I started noticing them when I started doing my little tours.
When was that?
Maybe 20 years ago.
Oh, wow, that's a long time. You don't even look that old.
Don't patronize me.
Yeah, you kind of do. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And he continues on. He takes you to another part of the lake where there's a third post with a third symbol. And this is your clue. The 3 posts with symbols sticking out of the water.
I don't know how to solve this thing. What?
He says, so, scientist, what is your scientific opinion?
Of those posts, you mean?
Of those posts, of strange glowing things in the water.
Well, I think since my specialty is bioluminescent algae, pretty much, posts are a very good breeding point for them, and they also glow. That's my opinion. So that's all very exciting. And if you show your customers 3 posts sticking out of the water, I kind of know why the tours aren't that well booked.
Right. He's lighting a cigarette and he drops his lighter in the water. God damn it. And the boat's already drifted away a little bit. And so he's reaching out over the water to try to grab his lighter. What do you do?
I hold on to the boat just in case he's trying to capsize us.
He yells. You can't see what's happening, but he cries out, "Ah!" and he goes splashing down into the water. And you can
What
see
the
him.
fuck?
You can
Yeah.
see him struggling. Help me! Help! And something is pulling him under.
I taste the water.
We'll come back to this. Zachary, you are trying to get a ride.
Yeah.
You actually get picked up by Ephraim Goldman, the owner of the arcade.
Hmm.
He sees you. He says, he stops and he says, "Hey, you look familiar."
Oh, yeah? Well, I grew up around here.
Okay, yeah. Well, which way you headed?
And I think Zachary has like a kind of crumpled paper map that he's maybe picked up in a gas station on the edge of town. And it's like, well, it's a long story, man, but I'm trying to get out into the desert to this spot here. I don't know if you're heading that way. Maybe you can drop me off at the nearest road.
I've got to go. I got to go open up my store. I run the arcade in town. But uh, I mean, if you don't mind, like hanging out just for a little bit till we get through the lunch rush, kids come by for pizza and stuff like that. I can drive you out there. Is it like some kind
Sure,
of
man.
treasure
Yeah.
hunt thing?
Yeah, something like that. It's
I mean, if you don't want to wait
well,
around, I'm sure somebody else will come along.
yeah, maybe, but you'll drive me right there, you say?
Yeah, just give me like an hour. Yeah.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right. Hop in. He's old and wiry, kind of jaundiced eyes. And you get in, you can get in. He's like, "So, do you play video games?"
It was never really my thing.
Yeah.
My brother now, he was a big player.
Oh yeah?
He, yeah, games of all kinds, video games, those role-playing games.
Oh,
That was his thing.
like old serpents and sepulchres.
Yeah, yeah. You know those you know those people?
Oh, I mean, I played I played serpents and sepulchres a little bit back in the day.
Oh, you did? Did you know Gabriel Fontenot, my brother?
No, it doesn't ring a bell. But we used to have to go by our character names anyway. We never addressed each
Oh,
other by our real names.
oh man. I didn't realize it was that deep.
Oh
So
yeah.
what did you go by?
Oh yeah. I played a sorcerer, Roshanok God Panther.
God Panther, huh? Do these names get like handed out or you come up with this stuff?
Well, there's a book and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I was never very good at it. I just did whatever they told me to do and rolled the dice when I was supposed to.
Yeah, I gotta say I never understood the appeal, but
Well,
I guess.
yeah. Well, um, I'm just happy to hear that you're not really into it yourself.
Yeah, why's that? Bad
Ah,
vibe. The whole
nothing in
satanic
particular.
panic thing.
No, nothing like that. Just well, some of those old game players are kind of around lately, and they're into it all a little bit too deep, and you know, anyway, you don't look like the type anyhow.
You mean like I'm not wearing a robe out in public?
Exactly.
So how'd you end up in the arcade business?
Well, unlike you, I couldn't care less about video games. I'm not good at them, don't care about them, but, you know, in the 80s especially, I mean, it was a gold mine, you know? Then it's a gold mine again. Got myself on a really rare machine, got my hands on a really rare machine as of late. You ever heard
Oh
of
yeah,
Zagreus?
and I think, yeah, I think my friend Taylor may have mentioned it just yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a big deal right now, pretty rare, and I've got one.
Oh yeah, is it like good?
Truth be told, no, it's really bad. Probably one of the worst designed video games I've ever played. And I don't even like video games. I'm no judge of these sorts of things, but even I can tell it's crap.
So what's the big attraction?
The big attraction is it's rare. And you know, there's the whole story about a bunch of kids going missing in 1985 after playing Zagreus at my arcade. It's nothing.
At your arcade, people went missing.
I mean,
Yeah, man, that rings a bell.
oh, yeah. Well, okay. All right. Listen, I have no idea what happened to those kids. All I know is they used to come by every afternoon and they would play video games. They did play Zagreus. I got rid of the machine after they went missing, especially after the police started asking all kinds of weird questions and people started making all kinds of weird associations. It was just too much trouble and the game sucked anyway. But now it's kind of a thing and I'm a capitalist first and foremost.
Well, okay. And I think Zachary's kind of looking at this guy a little warily, as if, like, did you make these kids disappear?
Hmm. When you get to the Galaxia arcade, which you haven't been to yet as an adult, Zachary, everything is as previously described, except right now it's quite empty. There's really nobody there. He says, you know, truth be told, the action's kind of dropped off on Zagreus the last few days. I think the novelty's worn off. I'm probably going to get rid of it soon. If you want to get a couple plays in before I do, you can, you know, say you've played a game that very few people have played. I'm sure that's would make for a good cocktail chatter somewhere in the world.
Maybe. Call it research.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me get these pizza warmers going. And he goes and turning on the pizza warmer lamps and he's throwing the pizzas in the microwave and getting everything kind of ready to go. What are you doing?
I think I'll take a look at Zagreus, maybe fumble in my pocket for a couple of quarters, or put a $5 bill in one of those change making machines and
Give it a go.
give it a go.
Amber, the big man has presented you with an option, a choice to make.
Yeah, I'm choosing the key.
Very interesting. Seems you are more intrigued by the bigger questions, the bigger mystery, than the TV station.
Can I get a refill? Think I'll need it.
Perhaps. Who knows? Maybe all you'll find is just boxes of old junk. Hummel figurines and table lamps and half-opened advent calendars.
Maybe, but that wouldn't be really interesting to you, would it now?
He smiles, and as he smiles, you can see that his teeth are quite yellowed. and one of them even falls out right in front of you. What
Well,
do you do?
I'm drowning down the drink, taking the key, not addressing the teeth. A tooth falling out. And yeah, I'll see if I find it on my own or if he gives me any direction.
He points you to the storage unit that key goes to. What do you do?
We see Amber just calmly standing, breathing a few times, looking left and right, and then she opens it.
You're looking at the gruesome tableau that Jack described last time. Please make the night move. What are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your nerve right now?
I think she'll lose it. She'll run away directly into Tim, who is going to capture her.
It's worse than that. Your mind shatters immediately upon viewing the horror. Roll
Fair enough.
with sensitivity.
Let's see. Do I have anything that might help me? I mean, I do have a mysterious tattoo, and I've got no idea where it comes from or what it means. So maybe that helps grounding myself, because instead of looking directly at the gruesome display, I focus on that tattoo on my left arm.
I like it. Roll with advantage.
Oh boy. That's a 4.
We don't see the tableau, we just see you looking at it. We see your expression of nervous anticipation melt away to one of utter shock and terror as your eyes widen. You twitch briefly before then breaking out into uncontrollable peals of laughter. And as you sink to your knees, laughing wildly, tearing at your own hair and scalp, Tim Crayley steps up behind you. Are you going to turn a key, or are we losing another character to Tim Crayley?
I'm going to turn a key.
Very well. Taylor, I like the idea of you plunging the taser in to shock whatever is grabbing Taylor. And
The dude.
it was the
yeah.
day move. I think it's the day move it's going to be the day move with probably composure, I would say. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
I'm afraid that I'm also going to be pulled into the water.
Fair enough. You have the next victim, which I think would put you at disadvantage, but if you mark
Great.
the
taser.
taser, it would just be 2d6. So
Yeah. Of course, I'll mark the taser. What? How? It's a 12.
a 12. Very nice.
Is that even possible?
Apparently.
It is.
Please
That
describe
is crazy.
describe how you rescue Taylor, and I'll give you your bonus afterwards.
Oh, I don't understand. Sorry, never had a problem. Yeah, so the taser hits Taylor in the arm, and the current runs through him and into the thing that has grabbed him, and both convulse, but the thing lets go, or maybe it even passes out while still hanging on to him, but that would be too much of an ask, I guess. And I pull him out of the water and slap him around a bit to see if he's dead, if I have killed him with the taser, or if I've saved him, because I'm not quite sure at this point.
He's shaking. He kind of coughs up water. He's very, very shaken, obviously. And then, since you got a 12, I owe you a bonus. I'm going to give you a clue. As you're calming him down, as he's, in the boat, like kind of shaking, like, in terror, but calming down, he opens up his hand. And inside his hand, he's clutching something that he either had on him, or something he grabbed while he was in the water, or something that was placed in his hand. It's a little unclear. But what he gives you, let me check the clues real fast, sorry. He's clutching a small action figure, a G.I. Joe.
What?
And that's your clue.
Thanks,
He says,
I guess.
You saved me.
Yeah, and Hero thought you were for sure going to try and kill him.
Why would you think I was going to try to kill you?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a dead pizza boy, and you're a strange man
Okay.
dragging a young
Right.
woman out on the
Okay.
lake.
Right.
Oh.
Okay. My name's not Taylor.
Okay.
It's Rory.
Yeah, I figure. Hi.
I was just
Rory.
fucking with you.
Yeah, I guessed as much, but why do you have a G.I. Joe figure in hand?
It's like,
That's weird, man.
oh, I don't know. I don't know.
So this isn't yours?
No, I don't know how this got here.
Okay. I guess I'll take it. Thank you. As a token of your thanks for me saving you.
I was like, yeah. I tell you what, I'll do you one better. You can have as many midnight boat rides around the lake as you want, free of charge.
Amazing. So were you gonna show me something else, or is it just the 3 posts sticking out of the lake?
He's like, that was it. I'll take you back now.
Okay, thanks. I guess. Can I have the voucher in writing?
Nice. Let's cut over to Zachary. Zachary, uh, yeah, the game sucks. It's not fun. It's the gameplay is really bad. Um, FG comes over, sees you playing. He's like, "I see. It's lousy. It's the worst."
Yeah, man, I didn't know what to expect, but is it just because it's old, or is it just because I'm not a gamer? But this sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard there's a way to access some secret levels, but I don't know anything about that.
Oh yeah, how do you do that?
I don't know. Probably you can't even do it. It's just a rumor. Another urban legend. Urban legend on top of an urban legend.
How do those kind of things usually work? Like you do some crazy code with the buttons and the joystick here, or
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I suppose there might be a way of. I mean, on these older machines, you actually kind of physically, mechanically controlled those things. You could go inside, and there would be dip switches and stuff that you could flip to like set certain settings or make certain levels or certain like gameplay modes available, or change how many quarters you needed to play the thing, that kind of thing.
gotcha, gotcha. You ever do that kind of modification?
No, no, I'm not really good with all that stuff. I have a guy who comes in and fixes these things when they break down. I don't know the first thing about it.
Oh yeah, who's that?
He's like, he says, "Do you want to go inside the Zagreus machine and play around?"
Not really. I'm just I'm a writer, man. I ask these kind of questions. It's all background for
Yeah,
something someday.
yeah, maybe. Um, well, well, listen. There's probably no secret levels. It's probably all bullshit.
Okay, well, not that I'd know what to do if I did find the secret levels.
Play it.
Yeah, but look, I'm not even getting off this first screen here. I'm not real good at these things.
Could be a skill issue. And he
Yeah,
turns
I'm
and
sure it is.
he kind of goes back to get the pizzas ready. As the first couple of kids of the day come in. Anything else you want to do?
Maybe I'll maybe I will kind of just look around the back of the machine and see if like there's a panel that will open or something.
Do you want to try to answer the question?
Let me just look at what that actually is.
Take a look at the clues.
Yeah,
It's a complexity too. It's a fairly simple question.
right.
Obviously, you can add whatever context you need to make it work.
Do it, do it.
I'm gonna check in with Amber. Amber, you're turning a key to avoid going completely crazy right now.
Yep.
You see what remains of Ash in this installation. The big man is standing behind you. You know it because the light from the corridor is blocked quite suddenly because he blocks it. And he says, "I'm real sorry about your friend."
I and she's not really able to process it still, and
I'm going to give you a condition, shocked.
mm. And then she turns away, looking at the big man. Did you know this was going to happen?
I didn't know what you would find exactly. Only that our little wolf spends a lot of time in there. I think you should go. Place is not safe.
Yeah. Is there any way to, I mean, I can just tell the sheriff or whatever, but is there any way to prove this? Don't want to take a picture. Like maybe get inside, take something.
You can
Incriminate.
Why
certainly
didn't
go
you
in
want
there
to
and
take a picture?
I think despite better knowledge, she tries to go inside and take something from Tim.
make the meddling move with composure. With disadvantage.
Yeah. um, that's a 10.
I'm going to give you a clue. But to which mystery? That's the question. No, it's for Zagreus. The clue is when you're looking around, you actually find something of great interest. It's a manufacturer blueprint showing the inner workings of the Zagreus cabinet. Its circuitry forming occult symbols. It has on it property of Vertex Electronica, Deep Lake, New Mexico.
Yeah, I'll take it and try to be quick about it. And without looking at whatever is there. When she closes the storage unit, she says, "I'm sorry, Ash."
Fantastic. We are getting ready to probably need to transition into the dusk phase at this point. Zachary, I see from chat that you have an idea for the Zagreus question. Do you want to confer with the rest of the group, get the benefit of this last clue, and then come back tonight, or what?
Yeah. Shall I just throw out what the idea is?
Let's hear it.
It's pretty straightforward and kind of incorporates two of the clues, saving some of the rest. I think if Zachary walks around to the back of the cabinet, he can like open a panel and finds, as Ephraim described, some dip switches that are in there. There's an array of 5 of them, and then labeled HADES.
Nice.
And then as you like, each of them is binary, but as you flip them, there's kind of like a little LED display that displays those labyrinth patterns. And as you change them, the labyrinth pattern change, the lights go on and off and displays like a different version of the labyrinth. And there's some particular configuration that will unlock the secret levels.
Do you want the benefit of the manufacturing blueprint as well?
Yeah, I think that might make sense, because maybe it's got some kind of, even if I can't really interpret exactly what it means, it obviously would show the circuitry of this particular panel, and maybe there's like some way you can figure out like which which switches are going to like activate some circuit that no other setting would get you to.
I love it. It's a +1 on the roll if you want to go ahead and roll it.
If it's cool with the other two, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, sounds good. Go for it.
I rolled a 5, including the +1.
So you are wrong. This is not how you do it. It was a good effort, unless you all want to turn a key to bump it up.
I'm going. If
Yeah.
it's up to everyone else.
Always.
Everyone turns a key. You are correct.
All right.
So now that you have accessed the secret levels, you have unlocked, and you know it works because as soon as you press the right little dip switch thing, and we'll assume you've left, you've got this blueprint thing from Amber, you've come back, you're doing it. FG is very excited about what you're doing because he thinks you might be onto something. And and even some kids have gathered around, like kind of watching what you're doing. And you flip that final dip switch after following all the various patterns and things, and you hear Zagreus. Secret levels. A cheer goes up in the arcade as you access the secret levels. Now that you've accessed the secret levels, you have access to a brand new move called Press Start. When you play a game of Zagreus in an attempt to beat a secret level, you're going to roll with composure or reason, your choice, minus a certain number, which we'll talk about. And basically, you play through the level. If you beat the level, you get a prize, and you get to play the next level. And so,
And if you don't,
there's more to the move. If you miss on this roll, you use up all of your lives and take the condition obsessed with death. If you are already obsessed with death, you turn a key. Every time you beat a secret level, it stays beaten for all the latchkeys, so anyone can try it. The next level that's been opened up. But it gets harder and harder. So basically, every time you beat a level, the roll is made at -1, and then -2, then -3. So.
can you decide to stop playing, or is
Yep.
it just win or lose?
No, you can stop playing whenever you want, and you always come back to the level that you were on. But you have unlocked it. What about these other questions? Do we want to try to answer anything about the Deep Lake Lurker? Do we feel good about that? Do you want some time to think about it?
So I've got one question about the key Ash the clues Ash found,
Mm-hmm.
not related to any mystery. Are they still available to us?
I like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Do we have them written down somewhere?
Yeah, it's in Jack's character section.
Oh, okay,
There's
so
actually
he's
4 of
got
them.
this. Oh, he's got like several here actually. Yeah, there's like 4 clues here. Which is the one that you're interested in, or which ones?
I mean, we're probably going to try to solve the Deep Lake Lurker, I think, because that's something Taylor is definitely interested in.
So you have access to these. So you have access to Ash's clues in addition to Ash's floating clues in addition to the clues that are specifically assigned to the mystery. I will paste those over here just so you all have them. Well, you can all see them on his sheet. So why don't we take a break so you all can think about it? We'll take 10 minutes. We'll come back and we'll see if we can answer this question. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the Deep Lake Lurker. Um, just for folks watching the video, let's remind them what clues you currently have. So we know that the water wants to escape the testing kit. There is a weird circle of standing stones in the lake bed. There is this midnight boat trips to see glowing eels. We have the 3 posts with symbols in the lake, and we have the G.I. Joe action figure. We also have some floating clues that Ash left behind. Um, a message, he is nowhere, he is now here. A 2-headed fetal bird thing. um, an article about a teen heartthrob who went missing after returning to his hometown in New Mexico, and ancient Greek curse of necromancy written on the ceiling of the storage unit. So, who has a theory for how the lake chooses its victims?
Well,
Nobody.
sorry, Zach, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, take it away. You had someone.
Oh yeah, well, I have an idea, but I didn't manage to incorporate all the clues, so you have to help me with that. So, my theory is that the water is kind of sentient and like sticks to people because they swim, and stuff, and then tests their aura or whatever, and then reports back to the lake. So that's why the water wants to escape the testing kit as well, to report its findings of a new victim. So whenever anyone gets in touch with the water, they become a potential victim. And that's the water wants to escape the testing kit. And the glowing eels are the way of the lake to attract more potential victims. So to lure out people that want to see those eels, and yay, cool eels, but then they get wet, and then the next victim is chosen.
So it sounds like
I don't know what the rest.
So it sounds like whatever the quote unquote sentience of the lake is maybe the lake bed itself, the land, and the water is its sort of medium for finding and analyzing, ironically, people, and getting inside them, and understanding them. So the water itself is is a sort of organism of sorts, right? I find that very fascinating. I think that it adequately accounts for 2 of the clues, unless we want to say that the true entity
Yeah, that's
is
not a lot.
in the circle of standing stones. That's where it
Yeah.
actually is, right? In which case
But
that would
maybe-
work. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's where the victims end up.
That's where it's taking them. Okay, I like that.
So I'd like to add that Harvey knows. So he basically realized what happened to his daughter. Maybe he went on a boat trip once and realized, okay, there's something going on, but like to be a proper victim, you have to be a young person, apparently. So I'd say he kind of works in luring in young people. And maybe the G.I. Joe is kind of an offering or symbolizes a young person going in. And the caller saying he's nowhere, he's now here, that refers to Harvey.
Oh, interesting. So you want to work in
maybe the
Harvey to
Harvey-
this, yeah?
Yeah, that would be cool. Just for fluff. I think that's a really cool idea. Maybe Harvey wants to trade the lake for his daughter back, and that's why he lures people in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
given
he
enough.
maybe he wanted to sacrifice himself, but that didn't work out. So it has to be a young person, and maybe
Mm,
there's all different stuff like belonging to children, to young people, other toys, other technical equipment, just like the GI Joe figure.
Why would Harvey have been so adamant about the camp closing down if he needs kids to be at the camp?
Good point.
I could,
unless.
He...
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just thinking maybe it's just simple misdirection that he knows that won't be successful. People won't let him get the camp closed down, but it distances him from any kind of,
it's just plausible deniability. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, it just distances him from.
He's hiding in plain sight, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like
That's
he'll make
very nice.
make a lot of noise, not expecting that to be successful, but.
Okay, so this is coming together, I think. So, okay. So we know that what Taylor's established is that the water itself is a medium of communication between whatever the entity, whatever the lurker is, whatever's causing this, or whatever's causing. I mean, the lurker is Jessica, but whatever is like sort of claiming victims. The water is the medium of communication. I think that's very well established and it works. We believe the circle of standing stones is where the victims are taken to. I love the idea of the midnight boat trip. Just to add extra sharp context to that, I love the idea of Harvey Stosky originally funded these boat trips. Maybe that's something you could learn from Taylor. You can learn from Rory.
Oh, the poor guy.
Yeah, Rory Nay Taylor. Harvey, in fact, wanted to be able to work in secret, and so advocated for the camp closing down as a way of keeping attention away from him, because who would suspect him? I think that's great. The G.I. Joe action figure just simply confirms, is just a symbolic representation of the fact that the lake prefers kids, that adults are not really the thing it wants. And that's really good.
That could be related to that's where Harvey is able to communicate best.
Yeah. Oh, and the warning, he is nowhere, he is now here. That's just like the thing that pings in your brain, like, oh, it's Harvey, right? Like, yeah, so that's really good. That's with the he is nowhere, he is now here. That's 5 clues. What about the symbols? Do you want to try to work that in?
You were saying something there.
Yeah, maybe it's related to where the well, this is this kind of a place of power, right? So maybe that signifies where it's best, or where the lurker is able to communicate best, or to attract, is most powerful.
I like this a lot.
Harvey wants to lure people there.
I like this a lot, and if you roll this and you're correct and you get a 7 to 9, I have a perfect complication for it. So let's see.
No.
I've got perfect complication for it. I'm so okay. So sorry. Did we account for the 3 posts with the symbols, or I say that again, Michael? I kind of missed. I was thinking of my idea when you were talking.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I was just saying, well, since this is like a place of power and the water is kind of a medium, this is where it's most powerful. So it's kind of this is like the inner circle, and Harvey ideally wants to lure people there.
I mean, we already have the
Harvey
circles.
carved the symbols in order to be able to communicate better with the water.
Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Oh, intriguing. Oh, very interesting. I suppose like we should maybe say like what the symbols are. Like, are the
Yeah, I mean, I really like that. Maybe it's kind of it's not about what the symbols actually look like, but it's like carvings in the posts, and that
It's
alters
about the
the way the water
intention.
flows or whatever.
interesting. Hmm.
How old was Jessica when she disappeared?
She was like, it's not established, but she was like 12 or so, 11, 12. Yeah.
So maybe she carved those symbols because she saw them somewhere and just for fun. And turns out that this awakened the being in the lake and made her the first lurker.
No, no, because there were three other kids that went missing before her,
Oh yeah,
and
true. I forgot. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
I. But three other kids, three posts. I don't know. Maybe that's a connection there.
Hmm.
You can also just leave that one be. You've got a +1. It's not the worst roll in the world. So
Yeah, I haven't got anything very compelling there. I was thinking it might be some kind of indication on the surface of like being able to triangulate where the standing stones are under the water, but that's
yeah,
Yeah, that was my
that's
kind of idea.
not super strong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant. My bad.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
like
didn't-
the finding the inner circle, but it might be redundant.
yeah. Unless we think that the lake, like, does the lake change? Like, does the water line change? Does the water move?
Mm,
Are the posts a way of like um they're like a guide to where the standing stones are? I don't know. It's interesting. I think we'd have to say what the symbols are. I think if you can define what this, figure out what the symbols are out of character, that will inform what the significance of the stand of the posts are.
Maybe it's just the simple as that. Harvey tried to conjure Jessica back up with those symbols, but he failed spectacularly, and
Oh,
that's why people still disappear.
oh, I like the idea of, maybe you talked to Rory and Rory explained that he used to take Harvey out and they would mark, like he would mark like spots where he thinks he saw Jessica, right? Because Jessica is in the lake somewhere, which I think is interesting.
yeah, or even that he was attempting some ritual. I kind of dig that idea that
Yeah.
Oh,
it
he's
didn't
made an
work,
effort.
but
Yeah, it didn't work. Oh, that's
yeah,
intriguing.
it didn't work
Yeah.
well enough, or like the price he had to pay
Oh, that's good.
for success would be to like lure more victims first.
Yeah.
Or he lost his sanity, like he
Well, he's
became a
clearly
killer
that's
himself.
happened. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly that's happened. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I like the idea of, we've established that the lake, whatever's in the lake bed uses the water as its medium of communication. I like the idea of Harvey trying to communicate back by carving into the posts like symbols that it thinks the lake will recognize, symbols that maybe match the symbols on the stones in the bed of the lake. I like the idea of just like a failed attempt at communication with whatever is down there to try to get his little girl back. He advocates to have the camp closed down so that he can perform all of this stuff in secret, maybe even lure some kids out there someday. Now in modern times, he's just kind of like gone crazy, and we think he's killing people just indiscriminately out of who knows what reason. We don't really know why he's doing that, if he even is doing that. We haven't established that he's the one who killed the pizza boy, right? It's just something that Taylor
Pretty
thinks.
sure he killed
Yeah, I
Pizza
mean Taylor's
Boy.
pretty sure, but we don't know 100% for sure.
No.
So, but I generally like the idea of like it has to be a kid. Harvey has the most direct knowledge of this and has made attempts to communicate with the creature in order to try to essentially try to get his daughter back, and has been doing all of this in secret while the lake while the camp was closed down. Now that the camp is open back up, he can't operate as he can't operate as surreptitiously as before.
Yeah.
So what would get the camp closed down again?
Oh,
Killing
a
people.
murder.
Murders,
Mm,
yeah,
mm,
right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Perfect.
So that's perfect. So now the camp is closed down again. So yeah, it all falls into place. I'm pretty sure people watching the video are probably like figured this out 10 minutes ago and are waiting for
Yeah.
us to figure it out.
No,
Waiting for us to figure it out.
not at all.
But we got it. We're there.
Yeah,
It's a +2. Who wants to roll?
I can roll.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
That's a 10.
Nice. You are correct.
Thank
And
God.
we don't need that complication.
We don't need that complication. I
sadly.
did have a good complication. It was a really good one. So now
Will you still tell us?
I will tell you. Yeah,
Yeah.
my complication was going to
Can
be
we use a
that,
key to bump the roll down?
the complication I was going to do was that this is all correct and all the kids are gone except for Daniel, whose parents haven't picked him up yet. And so
Oh.
Harvey was going to take him out. And
Oh, that's horrible.
But you got a
Oh, boy.
10, so I'll let you have it a little easier. Whenever we do the night phase, which probably won't be this week because we only got 10 minutes left. But however, we do have enough time, I think, to resolve some of these key prompts if you all want to do that. I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Have you decided which key you're going to use? Otherwise, I can.
Yeah, I'm still
So
thinking.
basically, I have 2, and one is going to be the Fathomless Well, which doesn't include like
Yeah, I think it just
narrating a
increases
scene.
your sensitivity, right?
Yeah, but
Decreases
I
reason.
think encountering the big man and whatever happened in the storage unit, that justifies that being more sensitive. And the other one is a flashback to the moment when you realized your parents were imperfect.
Oh, you also have to reduce your reason by 1.
Oh yeah, just it.
Yeah.
So I reduced my reason and increased my sensitivity by 1. And basically we see young Amber, I mean, as a young child, maybe 6 or 7, and she's at a school play. You know, like when some children dress up as trees and flowers and you got like singing animals on the stage, and she's actually got one of the bigger parts as a squirrel who gets to do a little dance, and she's really excited to show this to her family. And when we see the audience, they're not there. They promise to come, and we do see the disappointment on her face. The camera zooms back, shows the audience, and there's the regular parents and family members. There's maybe some senior citizens who just come for entertainment because it's not much to do, and she almost cries on stage because she was so eager to present this to her family, and she pauses. She's frozen almost, and then she spots her uncle like sitting in the very back, and that helps her, and he kind of cheers her on, and then she delivers her little dance.
Thank you. It's very sad, but happy at the end, but still sad.
Mhm.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I can do mine, which is also the same prompt. Just find it. Sorry. Flashback to the moment when you realized your parents were imperfect. And I think what we see is a young, probably like 9 or 10 years old Zachary, and it's his birthday. And he's kind of as excited as Zachary ever gets, coming down to open his presents in the morning, and over breakfast, bacon and eggs, his folks kind of hand over this package, and he unwraps it with a growing sense of disappointment as he realizes that it's like a Nintendo Entertainment System with the light gun and duck hunts and all of that. And his parents being concerned for how well he's fitting in at school, know that this is like the cool toy that like every kid has, and it's like the thing that kids bond over. And so they're trying to get Zachary into this, but he's just like so disappointed by this, and feels this real sense that he doesn't show it necessarily or tries not to, but this real sense that his parents just don't get him at all. And it's only later that his brother Gabriel, who's like maybe like 5 years older than him, pulls him aside and says, "Hey kid, I know you really wanted this," and hands him over just a brown paper package, not like wrapped in gift paper or anything. And inside is a copy of Infinite Jest. And Zachary's like, yeah. Just his eyes kind of well up a bit as he looks at his brother who does actually get him.
Wow.
That's so cute. Yeah, and I'll do the childhood trauma key. And I think since we already talked about this during breakfast, it's time for some death, some parental death. So Taylor is about 12 years old, so old enough to understand things, but not quite old enough to make it on her own. And it's one of the rare days where her dad is actually home when she comes home from school, and has actually prepared food for her instead of leaving her some money for a hot dog at the mall. And as he's standing there cooking for her, he suddenly grabs his left arm, and kind of moves his head and stretches and says, "Whew, I'm really not feeling too good." And he sits down, and Taylor brings him a glass of water, and she knows that he gets tired a lot because he works so much. And she runs to massage his shoulders a bit, and then he starts breathing very, very fast, and then his head just slumps down on the table. And Taylor, she knows he gets tired, so she grabs a pillow from his bed and gently lifts his head and puts it down and decides to let him sleep. And she finishes cooking the meal, and when it's finished, she tries to wake him up, but he doesn't. And her first thought is that he's dead, and her second thought is, I'll have to go live with my mom. And she immediately feels guilty that that's all she can think about now. And it's not sadness for her father's death, but more terror and fear of having to live with her mom now.
On that cheery note, is that it for keys? I think it is. Let's go to stars and wishes. We'll do the night phase next time. Stars, things you enjoyed about the session. Wishes, things you hope to see in the story next time. I'll kick off with star and say I really liked the solution to the to both of the questions that we answered. The answers were pretty good, and I like how we, particularly that last one, how we sort of got to it. You know, like it took us a minute of like really thinking about it and talking about it, but we finally got there, and that's how it's meant to go. So I quite like that. Star as well for I kind of like that sort of like kind of that kind of rambly scene at the house with all the three latchkeys, kind of like, you know, just, you know, kind of just like hanging out and trying to figure out what to do and what's up and how they're feeling. That was enjoyable
Attacking
to
each other.
watch. Yeah, yeah, being kind of like low key, like kind of mean. It's always fun to have the People's Champ in the room, and I like particularly the way Zachary and Taylor were kind of reacting to the People's Champ. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Really loved the scene between the big man and Amber. That was really quite good. I feel like Amber and the big man in particular have like a really interesting dynamic and connection and relationship, which is sort of developed, and it's kind of fun to see that play out. I also really enjoyed the kind of like tension in the boat with this person who is clearly pulling your leg by saying his name was also Taylor. You know, like he you know, everything Taylor had been through, it kind of makes sense that Taylor would be so like leery of like a guy like this, and so yeah, just the tension of that scene was really interesting. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. What else? The keys were good. I really enjoyed all of your sad stories. And that's what this is all about. So it was nice to see that. It was a lot of fun. My wish, you know, I'm mostly excited to have Jack back at some point. I don't think next week, but the week after we should have Jack back, or the session after. And you know, I'm very curious to see who's Jack is going to be playing as far as characters go. I'm also very curious to see if you're all going to play the secret levels of Zagreus. Another wish is I think I would like to see some of the latchkey moves come into play that we haven't seen too much of yet, particularly knowing it's half the battle. That's a freebie clue every session, and I think Rob always forgets it.
Like, well, it's not that I forget. It's like I go into every scene thinking, right, I'm going to use this, and just never. The thing never clicks.
Yeah. And they're always glad you came is actually extra salient now, especially after that last key prompt. So that'll be fun to see again as well. I'd like to see more of Uncle. What was his name? Joe was his name, if I recall correctly. So yeah. But yeah, but I'm really loving this. It's great. Just excited to see more stuff.
Yeah, I liked Amber's kind of real nonplussed, what's the word, like really taken aback by the big man's revelations and like how to deal with with what he's telling her. I was almost about to like mark the key that would let me also talk to him, but I'm just so interested in the relationship they have that I'm like, I kind of want to keep it just those two of them for the time being.
Well,
Yeah, I
he's
really,
in bad shape too. He may not be around much
Yeah,
longer.
yeah.
So yeah.
and I had fun with that opening kind of three-way nostalgic scene. Just yeah, and I really like just the fact that Zachary got totally derailed today. He was like all set to go dig into this whole business because of the tie to his brother, and then he first got pulled aside by Taylor to go to Pine Rock Ridge, and then pulled
People's
aside by
champ
Efford.
pulled you away
Yeah,
from yeah.
and then but here that was almost putting me back on the right track because it was the right mystery. But then he got sucked into Zagreus by just waiting around for this guy to give him a ride that never happened. And yeah, that was fun. Yeah, good. And yeah, the boat stuff was really cool. I liked that. It was almost kind of a shame that it was totally in my mind happening in the dark, even though it was technically the day phase.
Totally in my head too.
And wishes, yeah, Jack back, and yeah, rounding. It's crazy how fast the time seems to be going in this thing that we didn't get through like an entire day. Where um, we seem to be at a slightly odd pace, which is good because it gives us some nice fleshed out scenes. But yeah, feels so nice. I'm looking forward to the night phase for this one.
Yeah, you have no tapes, so it's going to be just a regular old night phase, a regular phase, basically, just at night. So,
And
like
whose fault is that?
it is. It is in this case. It is definitely Michael's fault. So yes. Stars and wishes.
Yeah, I think I'll just continue then. I really enjoyed the scene at the beginning, that nostalgic move that turned into kind of an argument, and well, at least from my character's perspective, and which justified her being on her own, and that the whole scene was really horrific, finding Ash, and I really liked how it turned out because the irony of at the very beginning saying like, oh yeah, she has never seen a dead body and she prefers not to, and then actually it happening to her, and the wish related to that is, yeah, to see the Latchkeys cope to, because that's really horrific, and I wonder what we will do
Yeah, we
next.
definitely have to have a scene where the three of you were like, Ash, like, unless you just completely repress it, right? I mean, there's a chance that like, because you didn't call the cops, you just like
Yeah,
close the door.
yeah,
So
that's true. Gotta think on that because I really enjoyed being like the protagonist in the movie where everyone else, the audience at home, says, "Don't go in there. Call the cops, whatever." Yeah, and Taylor, on the other hand, that was a stuff for me. They are like the sensible protagonist, like texting, like being, letting the others know, hey, I'm going on a trip with this weird guy, and then seeing that play out, that was really cool. And the other thing I really enjoyed was the interaction between Ephraim and Zachary. And what you said last time, Jason, of having everything being interconnected, I think that was a prime example because instead of just coming up with a random NPC, you tied it back in, and that was really good. and seeing Zachary interact with Ephraim at the arcade and going with it, being derailed, and but eventually unlocking Zagreus. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm
If Rob had decided not to take the ride with Ephraim, the next person to come along was going to be Tim Crayley. So
perfect.
You ride with me, Zach. Come on.
And apart from being together again, all the four of us players, I'm looking forward to a new mystery. But maybe depending on how long we're going to play it, maybe it's not the next session, but the one after. But still,
yeah, if you'll get a new mystery next session if you resolve Deep Lake Lurker in this
Oh
next
God,
night
let's
phase.
please.
okay.
I'm sick and tired of
We're almost,
it.
Yeah.
we're almost there.
It's not just answering the question; it's also resolving.
You got to resolve it
Okay.
as well. Yeah. So
Okay.
Yeah, Taylor
Tasha?
will need therapy after this for the Deep Lake Lurk, and she'll never go swimming again. Yeah, but I enjoyed this session. I love that Amber never saw a dead body before, which is just so goth kid, you know. Oh, I'm so dark. I'm so badass. Oh no, I won't look at the coffin. No. Yeah, I love that. And also, I mean, she's really coming together, I think. Acting all gloomy and whatnot, and yay, baking with glitter on top, and leave me in peace with the bodies. But I drive a hearse. Yeah, like that. I also love the radiator in the summer. I mean, I didn't even think of that it was summer, only when you, Jason, pointed it out. I also really enjoyed that Zachary got sidetracked so much. Like, poor Zachary, he never gets to do anything he wants to do, actually. I think, isn't that kind of a theme by now? Yeah. And I also like the pizzas are going in the oven. Yes, pizza. I'm hungry now. And what I'm looking forward to is resolving the Deep Lake Lurker and playing Zagreus, of course. I'm really curious what we'll come up with there. And more not vulnerable, nostalgic moves. Yeah. So always that. And also tapes. Let's watch some tapes. Let's find tapes. Let's watch tapes.
Find tapes and watch tapes. Yeah. One thing that occurs to me about that, it was not intentional because, but it's interesting about the big man being in this like very hot storage unit where it's summer and the radiator is on. I think it's interesting that like he wears a little bolo tie shaped like the sun, and
Oh, true.
he likes
Yeah.
to hang around and wander around in deserts. Like it's kind of interesting. Like he seems to really love the heat. So
yeah, I mean, it's no wonder his hair is falling out.
I know he's
and
like
his
melting.
Skin is blistering.
Yeah. Fantastic. Are there any other stars and wishes? Okay. In that case, fantastic session. Thank you all so much. I'm going to wave goodbye to people watching the video.
And you'll send out new dates.
Yes, we'll take care of that off mic or off call. Bye, everyone.